Hi again, Gregg, the News Tribune here at Lumen Field, not CenturyLink Field. Name change officially this morning. What a huge pivotal win for the Seahawks tonight, not just because it puts them back in first place in the NFC West with 6 games remaining, not just because of now what the schedule softens for Seattle, only one winning record team as an opponent the final 6 games of the regular season. That's the Rams, next to last game of the regular season at the end of December here. Not any of that. Not DK Metcalf's latest touchdown catch, not Tyler Lockett's latest majestic toe tap touchdown catch in the end zone, not Russell Wilson's error-free night after 10 turnovers and 3 losses. The most important thing about tonight that could carry forward is how they won. Not just that they beat the Cardinals for their second win in 5 games, how they did it, chiefly with defense. And what we learned tonight is this team needs scheme. They need to have coaching and varied schemes that help their deficiencies, especially on defense, but also on offense with the running game. Defensively, though, that's what won the game tonight. You saw Carlos Hyde sack on the final play on 4th and 10 of Kyler Murray with 38 seconds left. I'm laughing because after the game, Dunlop, the Pro Bowl defensive end playing his 3rd game since the trade from Cincinnati, said that Pete Carroll tackled him on the sidelines right behind me after the play. He was more surprised by that than how freely he got in on Murray with the game on the line. He said he couldn't quite understand how the bedlam that was going on the sidelines. He said, this is what they brought me here for. This is the job I'm brought here to do, and I did it. Dunlop is ecstatic to be here. He was in Cincinnati for a decade, never made the playoffs, never won a playoff game. Now he's on a team that has been first place in the division at the end of November, and a key contributor. 2 sacks tonight, part of a defensive line that got really good schematic help. You can say it was from Ken Norton Jr., the defensive coordinator, but again, this is Pete Carroll's defense. He's the one to decide who plays, what schemes they run. He decided tonight to be unlike he was in Arizona last month with the defense when he played. He admitted he made a mistake playing back, being conservative and not pressuring Kyler Murray. Murray picked him apart. 360 yards, 3 touchdowns, 34-48 completions that night. Tonight, the Cardinals as a whole got just 312 yards. That's 134 yards fewer than Seattle was averaging, given up as a team coming in last in the league. You know the deal. They were on the record pace to allow the most yards ever in an NFL season. And tonight, what they do, well, they mixed up their blitzes. We knew they had to come at Murray. The Cardinals expected the Seahawks to blitz more after not doing it at all and not even touching him in 48 dropbacks in the game last month. But they just didn't send consistent pressure and waves. They mixed and matched, and it confused Murray and the Cardinals. You could tell that the Cardinals were confused and not knowing what the Seahawks were going to do defensively when 3 different times they ran wide receiver screens on 3rd down, plays that Buffalo killed Seattle on 2 games ago, plays that even the Cardinals killed them on last month. 3 times on 3rd down. They thought they were going to get an all-out multiple-player blitz. They didn't. The Seahawks had more numbers outside than the Cardinals had screening blockers, blew up the play, Cardinals had the punt. The Seahawks would sometimes blitz Jamal Adams singularly. Sometimes they'd bring 2 and 3 with Adams. Bobby Wagner, I saw DJ Reed, the cornerback, coming. I saw Ugo Amadi on nickel blitzes with Adams. And then sometimes they'd show all that pre-snap and not bring anybody. And that was different tonight than the previous game. Seattle would blitz and tell them they were coming. They would put Adams and Wagner and Wright on the line and they'd come. Well, tonight they backed off. And it got Arizona into blitz plays without blitzes coming. And those wide receiver screens were emblematic of that. The Seahawks forced 3 3-and-outs from the Arizona offense in the first half. That's as many 3-and-outs as the Seahawks had the previous 2 games combined. 8 quarters. They had as many in 2 quarters tonight. That is what changed. They have to get more creative to help their deficiencies of playing 3rd and 4th cornerbacks with Shaquille Griffin and Quentin Dunbar both out injured. Dunbar went on injured reserve before tonight's game, so he's out at least 3 games. Trey Flowers and DJ Reed started again at corner, and they need the scheme to help the front forward. Jaron Reed got pressure. Carlos Dunlap got pressure. Bobby Wagner said to me after the game, I asked him, do you think the mixing of blitzes, what effect did it have on Murray? And he said it confused them. And it confused Arizona's offense. They didn't know exactly what we were going to do to them. And that's where Seattle gained the advantage and got the upper hand. I thought the defense got completely gassed in the third quarter with a couple really long drives by Arizona, including a 15-play, 91-yard drive. And the Seahawks were fortunate to still be in the lead, 23-21 in the fourth quarter. With how tired that defense was, it was really important to get that safety when L.J. Collier came in on former Seahawk J.R. Sweezy, and the right guard for Arizona held Collier, one of the biggest plays Collier's made since being a first-round draft pick last year. That safety not only did give the Seahawks a 25-21 lead midway through the fourth quarter, the ensuing free kick went to the Seahawks offense and gave the Seattle defense points and rest for that final frantic Cardinals drive with 2 minutes left after Jason Myers' field goal made it 28-21. Offensively, quickly, you saw what can happen when they have a bona fide running back, and Carlos Hyde was back there for the first time in 4 games. Chris Carson was still out. Pete Carroll said after the game Carson will play, barring a setback in 11 days when the Seahawks play at the Eagles in a Monday nighter. But you saw a legitimate running back and what it can do to a defense. The Cardinals did not blitz nearly as much as they did last month in just getting after Russell Wilson and disrupting the entire game. Did not control how Seattle's offense played. Did not overwhelm Seattle's pass protection. All the things that happened in Arizona didn't happen because Carlos Hyde was running for 60 yards and the offense was running for 165 yards on the ground and 30 carries. Now 42 of that was Russell Wilson scrambling, but 120 plus yards from their running backs. Even DJ Dallas had a 13-yard carry. Bo Scarborough looked great coming off the practice squad 3 days ago, signed, and here he is playing tonight. He got injured in the fourth quarter with a hamstring injury after 30-some yards and carries. Carroll didn't have an exact answer on how long Scarborough will be back, but again, it's like a mini bye here for the Seahawks and not another game for 11 days. But the defense was the story tonight. Last rank comes off the deck, an almost out-of-nowhere performance, and the Seahawks are back in first place with a schedule really tilting in their favor the rest of the way. What a difference a week makes in the NFL compared to where this team was just 4 days ago. All my coverage is at thenewstribune.com, on Twitter at GBellSeattle. Thanks for watching.